Alright, today on Drunk Peers Review Beers versus Edition, we're doing the old Hurricane High Gravity versus King Cobra. The battle of the shittiest Anheuser-Busch beers on the line. Kind of known as bum beer. This is definitely something you drink when you hang out on the railroad tracks quite often.
Yeah, or around dumpsters.
If you shit in the streets, this shit's for you. Which one do you want to break into first?
Oh, probably King Cobra.
Let's do it.
Trying to get that bite on first.
So King Cobra's 6% alcohol, 5.9 ABV. It's been around since 1984. It gets a 2 out of 5 on beerrating.com.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
We're about to tear this up.
So we'll compare the colors of them once we get them all poured here. I can't pour with shit, obviously. And that's sober pour.
Almost looks like warm color of piss right now.
Oh, for sure.
Alright.
I'll let you do the honors of yours.
King Cobra.
You sure you don't want more? There's a little left.
We could toss it out in the street. I'm sure somebody would be thankful for it.
Alright. Now for the Hurricane.
Sure gonna rock you like a hurricane.
Something tells me this is the exact same batch. One's just got like less alcohol content.
Then let one sit around and ferment longer in somebody's stomach.
That's right. Lots more head on this guy, seemingly. Yeah, I'm good with that. I don't know why I was trying to wait for the foam to go down and pour more in. It's not going to be my go-to tactic on this one. If you haven't watched the Versus Edition before, we compare two like beers and tell you which one's better, or in this case, worse. So, alright, so Hurricane's 8.1% alcohol, so a little more. Got a little darker amber to it. This one gets a 2.5 rating on
so we're
Beer Advisor.
We're moving up in scale.
Yeah, half point, which is probably solely just the fact there's more alcohol in there. Alright, so let's give it a sniff and see how bad it is.
Alright, this is the Hurricane.
It smells like some hippie girl's armpit.
It literally smells like if it was filtered through some nasty girl's bush, for sure.
Yeah. Been there.
Now this is King Cobra.
Yeah.
A little bit more flat.
Yeah, a lot more flat.
Almost smells like rotten apples.
Yeah, like a Coors smell to me. Like Coors if you opened a can, took like one drink, and then smelled it 2 days later.
In the refrigerator. You just like, I think if it's still cold, it's good, right?
I just like to keep one open for sips whenever I go to the fridge. Alright, so...
Alright, we're going to try this King Cobra first.
Let's try it. Not as bad as I thought. Well, it's getting me now. It's still much better than I anticipated.
At first, it's not bad. It just tastes like warm water. But then the aftertaste just kind of bites you in the mouth a little bit.
It does. It's not a tongue humping, but it's at least a molesting. I honestly could drink that though. And the King Cobra is it's only 6% alcohol, so it's basically like any other beer, just you get more of it for a very cheap price. What I did was go into a local convenience store and get the 2 cheapest like beers I could find. And so I want to keep it in the same brand. I figured, judging by the branding without even looking it up, they must both be made by the same person. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the same shit at the top and whatnot. So yeah, I guess Hurricane's just basically a stronger version of King Cobra. But what do you think about the marketing on King Cobra?
Well, it does have a cool logo as far as the snake goes, and
Something you get tattooed, like on your chest or something, you think? Or
oh, that's definitely a face tattoo right there.
For sure. It's like the Mike Tyson tramp stamp on the top.
Yeah, just right next to your eye, just like have it lick in your eyeball almost.
Little snake tongue to the eyeball. So if you're giving it a number rating out of 10, what would you give that as far as jumping off the shelf at you? Something you might pick up just based on branding, or?
No, I mean, I definitely stay far away from these malt liquors. They are definitely not my go-to beer by any means, but I would say by branding, if I was looking at both of these, the Hurricane almost looks a little bit more elegant in a way or something. It almost attracts you a little bit more than this King Cobra.
Yeah, it says like I'm an alcoholic, but I'm like I smoke cigars too, so you're kind of classy alcoholic, you know.
I guess it really doesn't matter if you got it rolled up in a brown paper bag, but
that's right.
You know.
That's right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go mid-level. Like, it doesn't jump off the shelf. It has a reputation without me ever drinking it before this that has kept me away from it. Hashtag beer burps. If I was broke as fuck, I still wouldn't choose this just because the alcohol content is so low. So I feel like since it's been around since '84, it's kind of, it's ingrained in the people that have drank it forever. Right. If they're still alive. I don't know. Their inside's got to be mush by now. But yeah, it's so I'm going to give it 4 out of 10 on marketing. The Cobra to me is not that cool, especially when you're next to the shelf with all these microbrews and you're seeing like actual detailed artwork and whatnot on the front of those bottles. It's not something that's gonna jump out to me. So I'm gonna give it a 4. What do you got on flavor? Definitely an 11.
Flavor out of 10 would definitely be something close to probably a 4.
Right.
It's not terrible, but it's definitely not easy drinker necessarily. It's not something that you necessarily just want to go to straight away. Like, oh, I just want to go get myself a King Cobra right now.
Yeah, for sure. What are you giving it a number value for flavor? So 5 being average, 10 being the best you can get.
So it'd definitely be around 2, probably.
Okay. 2 out of 10. I'm with you. To me, it's not that much worse than like Coors or Miller, any of those. But it's around the same alcohol percentage. If I was choosing between all of those, it'd probably still be at the bottom of that list. So I'm with you. I'm going to go about a 2.5 or a 3 out of 10, solely because I expected it to be much worse than it is. So.
Yeah.
All right. So we like to do this thing that we call swigability, which is basically, can you chug this beer? And then you give it a rating based on beers you've chugged, at how easy it is to just go down the pipe, if you will.
Oh man, we're gonna get down on the chugging, huh?
Here, that's what's left.
All right.
And then we got we do the overall at the end, but we'll do a little cut scene, jump right into the next one right after that. So,
all right,
I'll let you chug first because I want to watch your face in real time.
Oh man,
you can plug your nose. There's no one watching or anything.
Cheers.
All right.
About as much as I can get down in the moment. That is definitely not a chuggable beer by any standards.
All right.
You start pounding that too hard, that foam builds up in your mouth, and you're likely to start spewing foam and everything everywhere. It's a bad look for yourself. So I would just sip that. I would sip that.
It's not great sipping, right? I'll be honest. All right. Got a little dribble. I see what you mean. I expected it to be a chuggable beer, but yeah, my swiggability rating is we go 5. You can get it down, but it kind of wants to come back up.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely a foamy beer, I would say. Definitely a lot of beer burps from just that little bit of the can we both shared.
Yeah. All right, that one's in the books. Well, I guess you got a sip left. We gotta wait.
Okay, we gotta wait.
Yeah, it's heavy on the beer burps. Welcome back, part 2. Hurricane High Gravity. About to dive into this. Want to give it a sniff? I never introduced you, by the way. It's my buddy Jesse.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah. Drunk Beers Review Beers. Subscribe, like, comment. Tell Jesse how beautiful his blue eyes are. All those things.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Ladies, get at him. He's not single, but you know.
You know.
You
You're
know.
so good at me.
I think there's like 1 or 2 that watch, but I think it's my buddy Mike's mom. So. Yeah. All right, let's sniff this bad boy. It's got that old leather shoe. Like you're gonna chew on this beer smell to it.
It's kind of like a old rotten shoe, definitely.
Yeah.
Like when you haven't worn in about 6 months, you just find laying around on the floor one day, and you decide, hey, should I wear this? And you smell it, and you're like, whoo! Not unless I'm trying to awaken dead around here or something like that. So.
Yeah, not fantastic. I wouldn't wear it as a cologne. I feel like a lot of people that smell like way too much Stetson drink this beer. It's like, bro, did you like bathe in that Stetson / Hurricane?
I think that's how you have to do it, just to cover up the filthy smell behind it.
That's probably true. You got because this shit, you gotta sweat this shit out, and it's gonna smell just like when it went in,
yeah,
if not worse.
All right, so first tasting.
Ooh.
Well, if I thought that King Cobra had a bite, that Hurricane swept me off my feet.
Yeah. That really grabs you by the nutsack.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't mean sweep me off my feet in the nice way where some young lady comes or some young gentleman comes and sweeps you off your feet and takes you somewhere pleasant, but I'm talking about if you were in an MMA match and somebody just kicked your legs out from under you.
That is good description.
It's swept out for sure. Go straight to the dome, son.
What are you thinking on flavor rating wise?
Oh man, I really don't know how that King Cobra had a higher rating on Beer Advocate.
My theory, because they got a half point higher, 2.5 versus a 2 for the King Cobra, is the extra 2% alcohol probably
Okay, I
sway
guess
people's vote.
if it's a personal rating and not like actual like beer advocates who know what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, so anybody who gets an account with this thing can log on. Like Rotten Tomatoes for movies, like there's always going to be some dude on there like, fucking King Cobra's the best, dude.
Yeah,
or opposite, right. Like, you know, some snatch. It's just like, oh man, fuck King Cobra, dude. I got pregnant 3 times on that shit.
It's the reason I shoot up heroin these days. I got the King Cobra in my system. I can't kick either one.
I don't blame you.
If I was going to rate the flavor on that beer, I would probably give it a 2.
2. I am going to go a 1.7. One of the worst ones I've ever tried.
Yeah.
Not into it whatsoever. This will be my first and last time drinking this, unless in the future I somehow do compare like the all-time
worst
bottom
beers.
10 that I've had in the past year or something, you know, like to see who the worst is.
We're just gonna go through 10 beers in one sitting. That'll be the next video.
I would like to do a blind taste test where somebody off camera brings us the beer and we don't know which one it is.
That would be interesting, right?
Yeah,
that would
to
be
see
really cool.
without knowing anything about it, like which one we thought was the best and or worst.
Yeah.
I don't know why I covered my mouth to burp, but it's a new thing, so you should start doing it. It's called manners.
That says a father over here is actually raising somebody.
That's right. Raise your ass too. Yeah. Did I give a number rating on that? I'm already forgetting.
Yeah, you put that at 1.7. I was at a 2, but you know it makes me reconsider. But...
I just Price is Right at your ass and went like,
yeah, right. Yeah. You get the special showcase for sure.
I'm like trying to be this much more thuggish, you know. Like I see you with your bandana, but I got a flag made, bro. So, marketing wise, where are you putting it?
Like I said earlier, it's a little bit more classy, I guess, than the King Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like I said before, like I wouldn't necessarily go up to either one of these beers and be like, "Oh, that really looks good," or like, "Oh man, I really want to drink that beer." Necessarily,
right?
But I would say if I was going to give it a number rating, maybe 3 out of 10, really.
Okay. So you're going higher than the King Cobra on flavor?
No, that was definitely lower than the King Cobra.
Okay, gotcha. What'd you give King Cobra on flavor? I already forgot.
I'm pretty sure I gave it around a 3.5.
All right. So a half point better? Or that was marketing, right? We're not even talking about flavor right now.
You know, that's a King Cobra and the Hurricane just getting to us a little bit, you know, here and there.
Dude, I feel this second one coming on strong. But
yeah, that 8% malt liquor really hits you in the kidneys.
It does.
It's a little too much for your system at one time.
8% is pretty, yeah. I was surprised this was considered a malt liquor because malt liquors are generally a beer that was brewed to be a higher alcohol percent than beer, and so they consider it a malt liquor.
Okay.
Because hence the word liquor, it's like a higher alcohol content.
And I would say that's for the more mild malt liquor drinker, because like I said before, I don't drink these kind of beers, so to get the first one had a way more mild flavor. Definitely didn't have that bite to it, but you're also not getting that alcohol content, so it almost tastes like somebody just put a little bit more rubbing alcohol inside of a can and called it 8%.
They may have. So back to the marketing, I'm gonna go mostly because they stole like the Bentley symbol right here and then threw like an H in there and just made it look, you know, a little cheaper. There's like nothing to do with the hurricane on there other than the word hurricane. Hurricane high gravity. So, I mean, you got not a lot going on there. And I'm not positive if this is the same branding they've had since day one. It kind of looks like a newer one to me. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go like a 4.5, like just below average. Like nothing that's going to jump off the shelf at me whatsoever, but it's a clean looking can. It doesn't look like somebody's toddler made it up or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
It's respectable in the way you respect a hurricane.
I wouldn't say quite the way you respect a hurricane, just because if you actually seen a hurricane tearing some shit up, it'd probably be pretty cool. But to see this hurricane come tearing through, it's probably going to be a rough night.
Yeah, it is. And we're doing this for you guys, so, I mean, like, comment, subscribe at the very least. My insides will never be the same. I probably already have butt cancer.
Call it bum cancer because
Bum
we're drinking
cancer.
bum beers.
That's right. My a-hole is bleeding. Should we get into the swigability?
Yeah, let's do it. That's why I chugged this one down just a little bit more this time, so I didn't have to swivel it up so hard.
I blindsided you last time.
Yeah, he just kind of got me into it. He's just like, hey, you got to chug this beer. Don't worry about having half of it left. All right, cheers, sir.
Cheers.
All right.
You're the first dude to ever cheers a hurricane, that's for sure. Or drink it out of a glass.
Yes, sir.
I feel like I should have wrapped a brown paper bag around my glass and just left the tip exposed.
That would have been more classy, for sure.
For
sure. Instead, we tried to swill those beers like they were something special, but not special at all. Those are definitely some of the worst beers that I've ever had in my life.
That's right.
When I said earlier about aftertaste, tasting these two beers together in my mouth right now, definitely not a pleasant taste.
It's like a hurricane of cobras. It's like a bad sci-fi movie. Sharknado
like
72.
Snakes on a plane, but just a bunch of fucking snake jizz. Just
snakes in a hurricane. It definitely fucks you up, though. I will give it that. The hurricane does its job. Obviously, much better than the King Cobra with that added 2%. So,
yeah, might taste worse, but it'll get you where you need to be.
Let's see if this tells me the ABVs on here. It doesn't even bother. It's just like it's gonna be gross.
You don't really care about ABVs if you're drinking these kind of beers.
That's right.
You just care about percentage and price.
3 for $4 on sale.
3 for $4.
Now, for $4, you could get like life-changing fucked up on three of those things.
Life-changing fucked up.
Like
yeah.
you fall asleep on the tracks and you wake up with your legs gone type fucked up.
Type of fucked up to where you wake up and you got makeup on and a wig and shit gets real.
Yeah, I call that Tuesday. So, yeah, did I ever give it a rating? Number rating?
No, I don't think we necessarily... We rated flavor, taste, and everything else, but...
So, let's give it a rating on the marketing. I'm going to go I think I did. I think I said 4.5. Doesn't jump out, just below average.
Yep. And I was rated at about a 3. It's a little bit higher than the Cobra as far as how it looks, but it's definitely not something that would necessarily draw my eye or attention away from something that I think is more classy, something drawn or something cool.
So, one last question for you before we end this one.
Definitely.
Do you have a good, sorry to put you on the spot, but good cheap beer drunk story? Like the cheapest beer you ever drank and the stupidest shit you ever did on it?
Alright, so definitely had some crazy stories where been drinking a little bit too much here and there. One story in particular that I guess I would have to draw to would be the time that I was at Joe's house. He's been on this podcast before.
He was the very first Versus episode. Check it out.
Me and him had been drinking a little bit and doing some other things. And so his dad came home and I sat down on the kitchen table and passed out and hit my head on his dad's
dick.
No, definitely no dicks involved, but there was a fireplace.
Ooh,
and,
that's not good.
The floor, and they were just talking about earlier how it looked like I was dead. But,
oh, Jesus.
Everything worked out. So, yeah.
Barely any brain damage.
Yeah, definitely. No brain damage at all. That's why I can remember everything these days. I'm a super genius. How about yourself, sir? What is your drunk story for the day?
Oh, I have way too many, but for cheap ones, so I drink a lot of cheap beer that I hate to admit that I stole from this store called McKay's here in Oregon. I was a high schooler, definitely way too young to be drinking, probably 17-ish, and every weekend my friend Jeff and I would get wasted at my house with no parental supervision out in the country, and I almost don't even know which one of these stories I want to go with, but we'll go with, so this friend Jeff, a couple other friends came over who weren't drinking with us, knowing that we were drinking, and when they got there, we had drank it all. Like, it was gone. I had stolen Boone's Farm, I believe it's called. It's like a fucking like wine cooler type thing that you get over on the wine aisle. But it's like higher alcohol percent. It was just like a sugary Kool-Aid drink, you know? Yeah. Excuse me. And I had eaten chicken to try and sober up. Well, it didn't work, and I puked all of it up while they were all there. And I was blackout drunk and barely remember it. But they dared Jeff to eat chicken out of my puke. And he did it for $20.
What?
And I don't have any recollection of this, but the story the next day and finding behind my couch like old dried up chicken that had kind of soaked into the carpet. Yeah, that was that was one of the last times I got that fucked up. One and two on cheap ass alcohol. Like, for whatever reason, the cheap ass alcohol just makes you do stupider shit than the like expensive alcohol. I feel like
It's
hey,
true.
no one ever drank a bunch of Cristal and then had their friend eat chicken out of their puke. It just doesn't happen. This is like some shit that happens when you drink a high gravity or
almost
a
like
King Cobra.
If you had some Cristal poured on your chicken, it would almost taste good,
Probably.
even puked up. But you're lucky. You're digging around in a trash can and eating the chicken puked on out of a bag 3 weeks ago when you're drinking Hurricane for sure. It's a great beer if you want to wake up tomorrow and not know exactly what went on last night.
That's right. Why am I wearing a condom and have one hanging out of my ass?
And why is something caught in my throat all day? Oh yeah, that's the condom that broke in my throat yesterday. So
It happens.
it just comes as a flashback all at one time that not only did you have a hurricane to drink, but you also had a hurricane of dicks all around you.
That's another good sci-fi movie. Hurricane of Dicks.
Hurricane of dicks.
Part 7. Oh no, it's a big black one.
That's a Cobra dick.
Okay, so which one's the winner?
The winner.
Who wins the versus?
Oh man. We would go with Hurricane. I guess would probably be out of everything. It definitely was worse tasting, but get you there quicker. So
Yeah.
might as well. If you're going to drink some shitty beer, get it quick so that way you don't have to keep drinking anymore.
I feel like I have cauliflower ear just from drinking it.
My gut is definitely turning colors right now.
Mostly purple.
They're green gut for sure. You're just trying not to burp up too much at one time.
I'm not eating the chicken out of your puke, so don't even try me. Don't even try me, bro.